Welcome to another video from Garbage Chute Droids. For this video, we want to start something new, to do a little bit of an artist spotlight, to talk to a bunch of the different artists that we have doing the sketches on our sets. And the first artist we have here is my buddy Nik Muggli, who is
Hey,
actually the guy who did the very first Garbage Chute Droid sketches.
heck yeah. How
Uh,
you doing, Adam?
Good, how are you? Hey, you've been kind of down this path with me on Garbage Chute Droids pretty much from the beginning. Yeah, I know I talked to Brent about it at ICCC in 2019, ICC-Con in Nashville, which
First
is actually the
first and
first
only
time.
met.
Yeah, it's the first time we actually got to meet in person. I think we've been talking for what, like six
Yeah,
months, a year ahead of time. You sell these vinyl stickers, which were so cool. There's an R5D4 one. I'm like, I have to have that one. Um, and then I know we started talking, and then the thing that I realized that you knew Garbage Pail Kids was I run that other Facebook page called like Retro Rubber Vintage, um, just collectibles and things. I kind of don't really have a home elsewhere, and we did a photo contest, and it was send us a picture of little rubber eraser toy things, whatever, and to be the head cover of
that's
the
right. I forgot about that.
page, and you
Yeah,
sent me it was your minikins, your Garbage Pail Kids CAS graded minikins, and that like, oh, you like Garbage Pail Kids, and then we
heck
kind of
yeah.
started talking from there.
Man, I
But
I'd kind of gotten out of Garbage Pail Kids for a while up to that point because I completed all my OS sets and then actually like left all the groups because I was just like spending nonsense money on things I really didn't want it. And then like as I met you and a few other people, I started like kind of getting back into it and led me down a rabbit hole I had no idea I was going to go down.
yeah, I had same thing. Like I collected a lot in the 80s, and then come 87, 88, I started getting into baseball cards and other things,
Yeah.
and totally kind of stopped the whole Garbage Pail Kid thing. And then, as you know, I kind of had this kind of epic trade, which of one of my old Garbage Pail Kids pieces, which kind of brought me back into it. And now 3 years later, it's kind of crazy. I think I'm spending more time and money on Garbage Pail Kids than I am on Star Wars. Um,
Same. I know. I got to a point. I have kind of my Star Wars collection behind me, but I kind of got to a point where there was nothing in my realm of, I guess, affordability that I'd even wanted anymore in Star Wars, and so I kind of like capped it out where I liked my collection, and then being that collecting addict that we are, I just kind of fell back to Garbage Pail Kids.
Yep, and then yeah. So as I was saying, so at ICC, I was talking to Brent Scotch, where I'm like, "Hey, can you do me this, mashup of R5D4 and Atom Bomb?" And then like, this is so cool. We have to make it into a card. And I know you were helping me at those early days of before anybody even knew, other than probably me and Brent. It was like,
Yeah,
"What do you think about this design? And what do you think about this? And what if we had that?" And you would help me out with the banner, because if I had a different banner originally, and now I have that straight one. We won't talk about that,
yeah,
but
for,
yeah, you helped out with that. But yeah, you were here since the beginning, and then it was just kind of been an amazing ride. And
yeah, really cool. I know, and like you would send me, and Brent is so talented. You would send me these things, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's like the next level. I don't even know what I can say to change. They were always so good, but man, he really I mean, they just keep getting better and better. And then with the tweaks you do is just phenomenal. I like you send me the first draft and I'm always blown away. And then by the 25th draft, I'm like, holy cow, look at this thing.
yeah, because I'm such that perfectionist of like, well, what about this? And what about this tweak? And what about this pixel here? And what about
Yeah,
this? And it's never ending.
yeah, it is. Awesome. I love it.
But yeah, but it's like, I know with you, kind of like, we knew each other more, as we said, kind of on the Star Wars side, and you had they sold these stickers, which I don't know. Did you ever see the movie PCU? I love that movie.
I don't think I have.
There's a guy, they're going to a band, and you'll see where I'm going with this, where they're going to a concert, and the guy is wearing the band of the concert, and they're like, "You're wearing the band of the concert to the band you're going." Don't be that guy, but I actually today am that guy. This is a Nik Muggli original T-shirt, because actually I have the original sketch card, because again, we were talking about sketches early on, and this was the very first sketch card that you had posted, because you were doing pins and other things, which was very similar. So I'm like, I need to have that.
Heck,
And so that was the first one. Like, and then I know when we started getting into like sketch cards, I'm like, Nik, I need you to do sketch cards for me.
It's funny that you bring that one up. That is still like probably one of my favorite sketch cards I've done. I always like to kind of like cartoony everything and give things bubbly eyes. And yeah, and when we met, I guess how you figured out I was into art was because since we met through the Star Wars, I just started like, people were like, I posted, I think it was my very first one was an R2D2 I drew for the ICC art page. People were like, man, you need to make that into a sticker. And then I was like, sure. And so I found a company, and I found a really great company, Sticker Ninja. And I think you use them too.
Yeah,
now.
you gave me the recommendation.
Yeah. And they were local to me. And so I was like, you know what? These guys are local. They're just a couple that are trying to put out quality stuff. And they are like, I don't like to toot either of our horns here, but if you get Sticker Ninja stickers, they are like the best quality you can find. I mean, and so then I just started drawing more and more. And people were like, hey, can you do this one? Can you do this one? And man, I mean, I think on my last set, including other stuff other than Star Wars, I think I hit like 10,000 stickers sold. So
Damn.
yeah, at one point they even like gave me my own discount code because I was ordering them so soon. But yeah, that's awesome.
Well, don't tell anyone, but I have my own discount code too.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, they're great.
But yeah, so I think you're right. It's just because you kind of did these sketches because you did. I remember for ICCC, you did the R5. It was R5, R2, and Jawa pins as well, right? Based off a lot of these same designs. And then I go to ICCC, and you're like, you have a whole table of all your art, and
yeah,
we started really kind of catching up and really getting to know each other then.
For sure. Oh, and then to tie Brent back into this is I probably would have never got into sketch cards if it wasn't for him, because he actually released the first ICC sketch cards, if you remember them.
Yep.
And flipped them over and it said the Imperial Commissary art or whatever on it. And so I was like, wow, this is a cool, I love trading cards and this is a cool medium. And then it just took off from there. So I guess we both can kind of thank him for our start in all of this.
That's great. Yeah, and actually a bunch of those ICC, CCC, cards were a bunch of inserts in some of my early wax packs as well. I actually put a bunch of those in as some fun. But yeah, so it's talking about sketch cards, right? So it's like, okay, we've done a few of them, and I know if you listen to my YouTube video talking with to Brent, it's like, okay, time for the third set. Let's do sketch cards. I actually have, which is probably still one of my favorites. I'm going to call it the first one. Granted, you gave me a handful at the time, but this sketch right here is kind of that very first, what I'm calling my Garbage Chute Droids sketch. And this one's mine. This one's I'm keeping. I'm not ever giving it away, but you actually had a few that set. Actually, I have one over here. This was, in that same token, right? Another one, right? Talk about kind of that cartoony style that you were saying, how it's, the one thing which I love, and we were talking about this the other day, is like, I love different people's styles, right? And you look at a lot of like, the sketch cards, like official sketch cards that are coming out these days, and you probably know more than anybody now that you are an official Garbage Chute Droids, Garbage Pail Kids Topps sketch card artist. Like there's a lot of, I know, kind of specific things, maybe more in the Star Wars and Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know, because I don't know the details of it, but I hear it has very kind of, it has to be photorealistic. It can only be from an actual scene from Star Wars. Like I've heard kind of through the grapevine of some very specific things. I know only probably you guys artists know the specifics of it. And I loved when we started doing this, I'm like, do your own style. Like I want these to be different and unique and interesting. And I'm loving all the different views that are coming out.
Well, that's why it was fun to do Garbage Chute Droids. I did actually at your Garbage Chute Droids were the first, I guess you would say you're an official set, or the first anybody other than my own sketch cards that I'd ever sketched for. So it was kind of nice to just do my own style. And then, like you said, I'd heard from some of our friends that we've met through the groups that are on Star Wars with Topps, and like Star Wars always has like the number one place in my heart when it comes to nerd culture stuff. But like, it kind of broke my heart to hear that, like, oh, Topps, you have to do photorealism, and they have they'll give you like an 8-second clip of a trailer and be like, here's your reference material, and it can only look like this. And I was like, oh, there's no way I could do that. And for one, like, you knew I always drew cartoony. And then down the road a little ways, I'd put out enough and a few people, Jeff Cox and Anthony Scubas, saw some of my work and was like, man, you need to submit to Tops. And so I just did, and took me a couple tries, because it's always weird to link up with Tops. They have so many different people all across the world submitting stuff. And if you hit them like right after they have a big release, they have like a million emails. And I got lost in the shuffle. And then eventually they saw my work and were like, yeah, bring it on. And then luckily I would come to find out with Garbage Pail Kids, it was a lot easier than Star Wars. They're like, do your own style, don't change the gags. And then there was a few that they don't let you mash up, like, because they've had a few sets with like Marvel and with Star Wars, and you can't reproduce those. But any of the other cards, it was just sky's the limit, and just took off from there. And now I just finished up my second official set with Tops, and hopefully more to come.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's so cool, man. And actually, I know there's one of your Atom Bombs is on eBay being asked for a whole ton of money at the moment. Which
Oh man, my mom. My mom is the coolest mom ever. She actually kind of like cultivated my love for Garbage Pail Kids. Growing up, I went to Catholic school, and I thought they were just super cool. Ugly, gross, cute little. Took them to school, and some of the teachers there did not like them. Well, give you a little backstory. My mom wasn't Catholic, and so she was like, it was my dad's idea to go to the Catholic school, and so she kind of had my back and was like, "Oh, we'll see about this." And so she just like that Easter, she flooded my Easter basket with Garbage Pail Kids, and so then I was just kind of hooked. When she was the one buying them, well, then get back to what you're saying. The one that's on the Atom Bomb that's on eBay, I got it listed as like the hot card of the year or something.
Yep.
The non-sports card magazine. So I keep having to tell my mom, don't buy that. It's like, I want to buy it. It was published. I'm like, don't buy it. That's way too much money. But yeah, my mom is like the coolest. Like I wouldn't be doing any of this without all the just everything she's given me for my whole life. So it's been really great. But yeah,
that's awesome.
My mom can't buy that card. I would be. No. I drew her one of my first Garbage Pail Kids I drew from the set. I actually did mail her because she was always kind of like, yeah, thanks for supporting me my whole life with these weird ventures I've taken on. So yeah, that's cool.
That is awesome. But yeah, so it has definitely been fun. You've definitely given me some of my favorite Garbage Chute Droid sketches. Go back to that R2 or that C3PO one, right? Going back to that, how you have a unique style, and Andrew Arch has a unique style. Like all these people, and Nick, the other GPK Nick, not you GP. And it was like, I got to do something with these too, right? So actually, you also had, right? If this was the original. Right, we also do our reproduction sketch cards, right? So you can see how.
That's so genius. That's something that like a bunch of us have contacted Tops about. Like they keep having some weird sets, and I don't want to say anything bad about Tops because I love them, but like, man, if they would give the sketch artists a little more platform, that would be some of their best selling stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if they did like a best of sketch set where they take, like, again, basically what I'm doing, but like where you take all like the really cool designs, and again, I'm trying to do, for the most part, spread it out. So we have a couple of repeat artists, but like, we just released our second set of those. We had 10 the first set, 12 the second set. Give everybody different views, and it's such a cool way to add on to the overall design, the overall set, and just give some really cool stuff. I will say, I took a couple of your fun cards here too before we get into a little bit more of the conversation here, but just show off a few other ones, right? Of your style. We have another C3PO. This one is this will probably be in the next set. This one just makes me laugh every time I see it. You think you know which one it is. It's the smile. I don't know what it is, but I just love it.
Oh, it was kind of funny, that smile. I had been working on Garbage Pail Kids Vacation for like 10 hours that day, and you were like, hey, are you going to get me some more cards or whatever? And so I started doing them, and I was drawing them, and I just like, I did it kind of like just subconsciously. It was like, oh, I drew a smile in the pencil, and then as I was penning it out, I was like, you know what, that's gonna stay there. I'm gonna leave that smile, it fits.
It's so perfect. It's like a little alien. I don't know. And then two other ones. One, because I have an affinity. I love Atom Bomb. Atom Bomb will always be my favorite. But
Heck,
Atom Boom, the
yeah,
return of Atom Bomb, also has a special place in my heart.
heck
And you did this one. And
yeah.
again, one of the hardest parts about this job of kind of doing getting all these sketches. And I'm seeing, I've had probably 250, 300 sketches now come through kind of me is giving them up and putting them into packs that I want to keep every single one of them. But that's one, like these couple here, that may be in the next set. We'll see if I can get a few more out of you. But this one is actually one that is, so early on, right, in the wax packs, when we first did them, I did them as redemptions because I didn't have enough time to get the sketches from everyone because it was such a last minute thing. Like, I need to do sketches. This is gonna be cool. So we did redemptions. This is one that still has not been claimed. I think this is from, it's from my series one, my second set of series one, but I don't know if you remember, this was a secondhand rose one, which is just kind of a cool idea. So this one's still here. If you ever get it, every one at the back of the sketches has a number on them. So, this one's NM6 or Nik Muggli 6. So if anybody ever pulls it, this one's waiting to be sent out.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that's how that worked. I never really figured that out. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I put just a card in there that said, like, this is good for one Nik Muggli, sketch, and on the back I put a little code. So again, I know it's authentic and there's a tamper-proof hologram, but that way I had each of them set aside. So this was NM1, NM2, NM3. So this one's NM6. So 6 still has not been claimed yet, but it's here for anyone who wants it.
You know that it's out there in the world somewhere?
Well, I know a lot of these people who keep the pack sealed. So, there's a lot of them. So it might never be redeemed. I put a 1-year redemption on there. Like, so it says, like, redemption's good through, August 31st or December 31st, something like that. Again, if somebody comes to me 2 years from now when I still have it, I'll try to redeem, honor it, but I can't guarantee I'm going to hold on to these things for years and years.
Sure.
So yeah, so
and then you never know. Being as good as I do, us Star Wars people, we're kind of weirdos. I mean, we'll buy like brand new stuff and keep it in the package for years, and that sealed pack might change hands 3 or 4 times. Then some kid eventually will get it and crack it and be like, "What the heck is this?" And God knows where that card will be at that point.
Well, honestly, I think what's weirder than the Star Wars people who keep things sealed is the garbage pail kid in the sports card, in the non-sports cards, where like I'll get a box, I'll get a case, because I can't not open them up because I need to know, is there a sketch in there? Is there an auto? Like, these people who have these OS1 boxes or just even some of the newer stuff, I'm like, how do you keep it sealed? There can be something in there that's amazing. It's just, it takes everything out of me not to open it. But there are people who I sell some of these to, which is why I created the hobby pack.
Heck yeah.
Because, like, you know what? Some people want to steal, here's a $4 or $5 pack if you want to keep it sealed to display, as opposed to, the $17, $20, $18, $20 packs there.
What are the odds on the Garbage Chute Droids of pulling a sketch?
So it's in the first set, I think we had like 100, like the very first 100 packs. I think they were like 30 sketches or so. I'm trying to do about now it's about a 1 to 2 odds. So the most recent release, there's 190 packs. And there are 90 sketches. So it's almost a 50-50 shot of actually getting a sketch. The metal cards. I have the action figure redemptions are in there. The last round of packs, I had a redemption for a box of Chrome 3 Garbage Pail Kids, which has been redeemed. That was one I was secretly hoping would never be redeemed, and I get to keep it. But it was.
Like counting down the days. You're like, oh, it's a year. Too bad. It's mine.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been pretty cool. But you know what? This is supposed to be an artist spotlight. We're supposed to spotlight you, the artist. So we kind of jumped into really kind of how we got together and how you got into Garbage Chute Droids. But tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, these are some conversations I know you and I never really have even had. But like, have you always been into art? What's your day job? I do know the answer to that. But kind of just give me a little bit about yourself and tell our Garbage Chute Droids and Garbage Pail Kids and Star Wars fans out there a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in Eastern Montana. Again, I had like the coolest parents. If like I was into something, they would kind of push me to do it. And I've been drawing and attempting to do art my whole life, really. My mom, it's another thing. My grandma had me design my mom's first business card, and it has like she owned a fabric store called the Copper Thimble, and I drew like a little thimble and like a mouse and a bunch of stuff, and then like having seen like people like taking those business cards, that like really kind of like excited me. And like every little kid who draws and colors and stuff, and you ask them like, what do you want to be when you're older? Oh, an artist. Well, for quite a while that was like a really hard thing to do, because before social media, I mean, like you had to put the legwork in to market yourself. And so I just like eventually I moved out to Oregon, and um went to school for graphic design, and quickly realized that in the graphic design field, it is very competitive. And it was actually right at that tipping point. I got into it at like the worst time ever. It was like right as things were starting to go digital for like beginners. There was always like the big agencies who had like people doing stuff like on computer, but like right when I started getting into it, the internet was popping off, and it was really competitive. And then oddly enough, I had a baby and kind of fell out of that, but kept drawing. And I worked for a company for a long time, 11 years, doing retail while I was kind of going to school. And then as I was giving up on the graphic design, I was kind of like, well, what am I going to do? And I was still drawing, and I was getting a tattoo one day, and the lady who was tattooing me is like, why don't you get into tattooing? Because I had all these questions for her, and I have no idea how to do that. And so she introduced me to a guy, and that was 11 years ago now. And I've been tattooing ever since. Own my own shop, Destination Ink, out here in Hillsboro, Oregon. And then I've kind of reached my goal of like, now I'm an artist and making a living. And like any career, it has its downside. So it was like, now I'm just like doing the art other people want, instead of like stuff on my own. So it kind of like put my own art to the side. And then when I got into the Star Wars more heavily, I've always been into Star Wars, but more heavily in the collecting side of it. And people like, really, Star Wars kind of like, I can give them credit for everything, because like it's the one thing I always liked, drawing and whatnot. And then so it's kind of like my side job, which is a significantly less paying job than my like tattoo job, but it's like in a way more fulfilling. Like I've had random people online like find me from finding my names in a pack of cards and be like, hey, I found this. And it's just, I don't know, it's way more fulfilling. And I do love tattooing, don't get me wrong. It has its days, but I'm always drawing somebody else's design in my own style. But these, I just get to kind of do whatever I want to do, and it's just been a blast. Yeah. So yeah, I finally made it to a. Now I'm not a starving artist. I can actually say I'm an artist for a living.
Yeah. And yeah, I know I've kind of put my own set out, but you actually even put out your own set, right? You have you did a little Ewok set, which hopefully I'm allowed to show off on here. Which and actually these are some leftovers from last round, because I know you gave me a bunch of extras to put into some packs. Actually, I have some of yours. There's a couple of other sets as well that I have some freebies. So a lot of people actually, I still kind of continue to throw these in. Yeah. Some sets, although I always say you should have put your name on the back of it. I know there's a reason why, but
yeah.
But if you need me to cut this part out of the video, let me know.
No, not at all. Yeah, I actually have. I'm right now working on a Droid series trading card set, so to kind of go along with the Ewoks. I always like those weird cartoons, and now that they're on Disney Plus, they're getting a lot more popular. So.
Yes, I know you definitely have an affinity for the Ewoks. I know you're a big Ewok fan, aren't you?
Heck yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I didn't realize that tattooing was, relatively speaking, actually a pretty more recent thing in your life. I figured that was something you've been doing for like 25 years.
No, only the last decade. I kind of it's funny. One of my daughter's friends asked me like not long ago, like about like the being alive is old, because I'm like some old man to her, and she's gonna be, my daughter just turned 21 and she's entering in her 20s, and she just feels, and my daughter feels this too, but that's a whole nother story. But they both like feeling that pressure of being 20. And I was like, man, I didn't have anything even remotely figured out until I was 30. Now our business has been open since 2012. And yeah, it's never too late to have that late start, I guess.
And you're luckily able to weather the year that was 2020. I know that was obviously we had a number of conversations. I guess on a tattoo parlor. That's you're
Yeah.
up in people's faces, right? And kind of pretty
Yeah.
damn close. That
Yeah.
COVID must have been a bit of a challenge, so to
Yeah.
speak.
We were closed for 4 months, and it's funny. People come in now and they're like, and we just take it really seriously. Like everybody, I feel should. And we saw people come in and be like, I went to the dentist, and you guys take higher precautions than my dentist. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to get sick. And I kind of joke, like my wife brought up the other day that this was the first year that I've not gotten a cold or the flu in like a decade. And so I'm set. Like, people better get used to wearing masks when they come into my shop, because it's here for the long haul.
I know we were saying that too. Like my kids didn't get sick. We didn't
Oh,
really have the ear infections. I didn't get sick. It was like, you know what? Maybe there is something to this whole kind of mask wearing
yeah,
thing.
sure, yeah.
So
Yeah,
cool. Well, no.
we usually pass around a germ between me and my coworkers and my wife and my daughter. It's just like this vicious cycle every winter, and it was like, looking back, like, wow, that was kind of nice.
Very cool. Yeah. So getting back to the art though, couple of questions I'm curious to from your perspective. I know, what is your favorite commission? What is your favorite piece that you have ever drawn? And I've seen some of these. There've been some pretty amazing stuff out there, but if you had to pick the favorite individual thing you've ever done, can you pick that out?
Honestly, like, no joke, you not just because you brought up, I really like that little R5 one that you drew. Like that one was just like my first one that either that or Nick Botkin has my first R2. Yeah, and I'll see if I can find it, give it to you, because he has the R2 and you have the R5. And like, I've never been great at drawing humans. I did a pretty good job on some of my creatures and aliens and stuff, but people are always like, when are you going to do something with like Luke or Leia? And I'm like, never.
And what's funny is talking to Brent, because I've commissioned him a couple of times for some really cool R5D4 things, and he always kind of uses. I'm his experiment. Like I said, go do something different. Like he tried a metallic finish one time. Like he'll try that for me as the experiment. If it doesn't work out, he knows I'll still take it and be really happy with it. But he says he hates drawing droids because they're so straight lined and stuff. And it's like he does the amazing portraits of the people and everything, but it's like ask him to draw the droids, and it's like he finds those annoying because it it has to be so symmetric, as opposed to I guess on the more cartoony side, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, it just translates so much easier. It's kind of funny. Somebody recently commissioned me to do a Leia Bausch thing, and I was like, I had to like step away from the Garbage Pail Kid side, because I was like, man, I'm starting to make her look like a Cabbage Patch Kid here. No, so I think my answer would either be that R5 that you had, or nice, the R2 that Nick has. So those are right up there.
So this is going to lead me to the next couple of questions. So let's take Star Wars for the moment. Then, what is your most favorite character to draw, and what is your least favorite character? Then, if you had to pick one character, someone said, "Draw me a commission," you're like, you almost cringe, like, I don't even want to take that commission because it's so hard to do.
Easy. I hate drawing Vader. Drawing Vader. I'm like, and I can draw him kind of cartoony, and then I go to color, and I'm like, I can't make Vader gray and like all those shines. He is so hard to draw. Vader's the one that I'm like, no, pass.
What about your favorite?
My favorite Star Wars character is Greedo, but he's not one I really enjoy drawing, and I don't know why I even like him. It's just due to the vintage toy. I always really liked the bright green toy. But probably my favorite is Wicket. I grew up like my first introduction to Star Wars, was Return of the Jedi, and so I just always loved the Ewoks. My brother was into collecting the toys, and so like by the time I even got into toys, my first Star Wars toys were Ewoks, and so yeah, Wicket for sure. Yeah, he's a fun one.
What about on the Garbage Pail Kid side? What is your favorite Garbage Pail Kid character to draw, and what's your least favorite Garbage Pail Kid character to draw?
Least favorite is Dead Ted. That
Hmm.
that one, he's got such weird tones, and he's such an iconic card too. And he's got that like half blue, half yellow, and then there's all these weird muted grays. And if you like zoom into it, it's like, I don't want to talk smack on the person that drew it, but it's like, I think they just kind of went for it in some areas. Some of the lines don't make any sense. There's like this random line that's like, is that a rib or a close? But like when you look at it, just so iconic. And so that one's really, he's kind of like my Vader. He's a tough one to draw.
And I can tell you, I know what you're talking about because he was the inspiration of my fourth Garbage Chute Droid,
Yeah.
Deteriorate Ted. And exactly kind of, because when Brent and I go and try to figure this out, I look at the card and, come up with this and come up, we look at certain things and how we had the rip to the shirt, like make that a blaster bolt. Like we try to do different things and we really look at how we can use that as inspiration. But yeah, I know looking at that, the coloring and everything is,
yeah,
it's an odd one.
Yeah.
But what about your favorite?
Favorite to draw. My favorite Garbage Pail Kid is Pagan Megan. I like that one. I don't know really why. It was one that kind of like, not to go back too much into stories, but like growing up, it was like I had it on a couple notebooks going to Catholic school, and it was kind of like frowned on. Like kind of already getting out of Garbage Pail Kids, kind of like you. I was getting into sports card, but I just thought that one was super cool, and she's kind of like a little fat demon, or Montezuma, Pagan Megan, same one, and so I had that one on a binder for years, and so it just stuck with me, and I like drawing it. And it's funny, like I really like drawing it, and I have I'm coming up on close to 100 cards commissioned of him, and almost everybody that I commissioned is like, I hate drawing this card. This card's hard, but like, no, I've just done it enough, and I really like doing that one.
Yeah, I remember that one of them that you drew for me for Garbage Chute Droids was a Pagan Megan inspiration, but you kept it. You didn't give it to me. You still have it because and again, for those who don't know, part of my deal with my artists is for every 2 sketches that they provide, you get a card that you can do. You can commission other people. You can keep it. You can sell it. So it's sometimes you'll show me. There's a few that you've shown me that it's like I want that, but you keep it.
Yeah, there was a 2-1B Greaser Greg that I was sending to you, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody's like, "Dude, I love 2-1B. You got to give me that one." And I was like,
Guy.
Yeah, okay, probably. Yeah, we did a trade or something, but yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because he did a C-3PO Pagan Megan, and that's if I remember correctly, the two of you end up swapping. I'm like, oh, I wanted both of those. But, so.
One card that a lot of people don't like drawing for Garbage Pail Kids is Atom Bomb, because he gets requested so much. And like I'll go through my like Atom Bomb like love-hate phases where I'm like, oh god, not another one. But like again, he's so classic. Like, I mean, I do kind of like enjoy that. I even have an Atom Bomb tattoo. It was like my second tattoo ever, and it looks bad now, but it's on my back, and it's kind of like, as I've gotten older and fat, it's kind of like shifted a little bit. And like,
you're gonna have to send me a picture of that. I'm gonna have to superimpose that on the screen.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
So what's funny with that though is, so again, my name is Adam. I grew up in the 80s. Atom Bomb was so classic. I've always been an Atom Bomb fan. It's not a recent thing. It's just I've always, for years. But on the Star Wars side, on the art side, I collect R5D4, which is a very relatively minor character. There's a handful of us who are big R5D4 fans, but generally speaking, a Vader goes up on eBay, a Boba Fett goes up on eBay. You have lots of people going after it. At R5D4, there's a handful of us. So I collected, again, talking about cards, I probably have almost 100 R5D4, both official as well as personal sketch commissions. So it was like I was been collecting these, and they weren't that expensive. Then I got back into Garbage Pail Kids, and you very quickly realize, if Garbage Pail Kids are priced here, Atom Bomb is priced up here, and there's a lot more competition for it. So it was fun getting into Garbage Chute Droids because I can kind of get my Atom Bomb fix without really having to pay the premium of getting a lot of atom bombs because
Oh,
unless you're going to commission, I mean, to try to pay for those, on the secondary market, I mean, they're pricey. They definitely still command a premium. And by the way,
there was one other day that like looked like there was joke that it actually had poop on it, and it still went for $18. I mean, this thing was like practically round. It had like no corners, was peeling, had poop on it, and it still went for $18. That's insane.
yep. Which, and I'll give a quick little plug to my Series 2 wax packs. Actually, in going back to the odds we were talking about, so there's 190 wax packs, and for the last couple of rounds, and this one included, there are 4 OS1 cards in those packs. And again, they're not mint, they're not poop atom bombs, but there's an atom bomb, a Plastic Billy, a Nasty Nick, and an Evil Eddie, all original OS1 cards. So 4 of the 190 packs has one of those. Again, it's not going to be a $500 atom bomb, but it's clearly more than the $18 poop atom bomb that anybody can get.
Heck yeah. Man, has that set released yet, or is that coming up?
So it just released I did a pre-order. So, now that I'm still a small, in the grand scheme of things, kind of a smaller business here, but I've gotten a couple of really good repeat customers. So, I want to give them the option of making sure they get any product I put out first, because I really do very limited sets. I mean, my full sets of my 8-card sets, I only have like 25 to 30 of those that are even available. So, on the metal cards, there's only so many. So I do a week of pre-sale just for people who previously bought a full set. And then I've just been so busy with life that I actually haven't set the email that says, hey, it's for sale yet. But no, they are for sale right now. You can go and buy them. In Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, this will be on. I have a store set up on Facebook where it's weird. It's all a message me to buy. Like I don't have an actual store where you can buy. It's all too, and so much is because like, well, I have this, or you can do an add-on for the contest set. Or you can, so it's a lot more kind of a personal touch. But yeah, they are available right now. I haven't shipped any of them yet, but hopefully next week or so.
I think that really helped my sticker business too, is because I don't have anywhere really you can buy my stickers. Everybody has to message me, and not to like say that I'm doing that just in add-ons, but it really does help with the sale. Yeah. Like, oh, I got you here. I'll give you these ones for this amount or whatever, and it's easier to keep track rather than having to update a website and stuff. So I like that, dude. Keep it up.
Yeah, I have a whole Google Sheet. Again, I was using it on Excel, but then like somebody would message me. I'm like, oh wait, I can't just update that. So I use Google Sheets, a spreadsheet to update every single sale I have, if I've shipped it, if I've not shipped it, because it's definitely a lot of work. And I definitely did not appreciate those small businesses out there, how much just goes into shipping, time and energy just to pack things up and put them in. It's like, God, like I dread, oh my God, my pre-sale is going to be over. I have like 25 packages I'm going to have to send out. Like, I don't want to do it, but it's worth it.
Oh, totally worth it.
So a couple other questions, because I know kind of my 15-20 minute conversation, we're running at about 35 minutes here. If you had to choose one, Garbage Pail Kids or Star Wars, and the other one would disappear forever, which would it be?
Oh man. Oh, that's tough, because right now I have this like newfound love for Garbage Pail Kids. But Garbage Pail Kids would have to go. I hate to say it. Star Wars, I mean, I love the Garbage Pail Kids community, but there is nothing like the Star Wars community. There really isn't. I've seen some of the craziest acts of kindness. And you're part of this, but like you're one of my best friends, and we've only ever met one time. Like you and Nick Botkin and Mark Rusciano, and like there's so many people that I'm like I like there's just like a list of people that I've told my wife, like, if I ever die, these are the people you contact. You don't just like eBay this stuff. You contact these people, they will help you. And like I don't have anybody in my like close small knit group of like in-person friends. So yeah, bye Garbage Pail Kids, I love you, but yeah, nothing compares to Star Wars. I mean, and it's interesting people get into Star Wars, and like seeing these young kids at like Celebration and stuff like that, and like I don't know, Star Wars is timeless. it's older than a lot of us, and it'll be here a lot longer than most of us. So
Yeah. I hear. Speaking of random acts of kindness, one of the other cards which I took out here, which I haven't shown yet, this card here, which is another Nik Muggli original. This was one of these things I don't remember. I think it was just kind of like a thank you that you sent me when we were talking. Like all of a sudden, I opened up my mail one day and there's a nice little thank you note with all of your drawings on like a little postcard. It was just kind of like, hey, it's been, your friendship's been great. Thank you. It's been so much fun doing this. And you drew me a card. And it's just like stuff like that is absolutely amazing. And I'm actually looking forward. I mean, it's again with COVID, it's been, a year and a half almost of like not seeing anybody. This weekend actually is a toy con. It's a big toy show in New Jersey, and there's probably going to be a couple dozen people from the Empire State Star Wars Collecting Club, which I didn't even know those existed until ICC Con, where it's like there's these like local little Star Wars communities, and that like you just kind of get together. And so there's already planned meetups, and let's all get together for lunch. Mark is going to be, Rishani mentioned he was going to be there, so it's going to be a lot of fun just to see a whole bunch of people. I'm vaccinated, even though I'll still wear masks, but let's kind of go out and just kind of like see people again. It's definitely gonna be nice.
Oh man, I am jealous.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping. So, what else?
I never met any of the people from the group as I went to Celebration, and like it was weird seeing this was, I think, 2018 was the last Celebration, and like seeing these people who I'd talked to for years in person, and then like in Celebration is like its own monster. Like just, I mean, I couldn't even meet everybody who had, but then we went to ICC, and the first time I met you, and it was just like, man, it was like being around family. Star Wars is just so great. Like I get made fun of by like my friends that like every May the 4th they like talk about, just tease me endlessly, and but like, man, there's almost been nothing in my life that has like brought me more joy than Star Wars.
Yeah, and at least unlike probably in the 90s and stuff, when I was reading the books and I was into it, in the dark times, right, of Star Wars, when there was no new prequels, it was there was no new toy, and I still read the books and was doing all stuff, and like it wasn't cool to be into all that nerd culture now. Like at least now is the time things like Marvel and Star Wars and all this stuff, like at least it's kind of brought up into the pop culture where it's like, what, it's not a bad thing to be in there now. And
it's fun. My daughter multiple times, like I feel like today's youth have this like immense pressure, social pressure, because you can never escape anything without social media. But I've also said like anybody can find a friend these days. Like I remember wearing a Star Wars shirt to school when I was little, and I mean I went to a Catholic school and everybody's nice, and like people being like, what is this nerdy crap you're wearing? And now I'm like, I wear Star Wars or Garfield stuff every day.
And I have, and you can kind of see over here, over there. I now, as you do as well, we both have our own stores now on the TeePublic, which I'm tees.garbagechutegardroids.com, and I know you have a site as well. But it's like exactly wearing this stuff around all the time. It's like even my face mask. I have a few face masks on my site, and so most of the time nowadays I wear face masks because I'm wearing Garbage Chute Droids or my characters. Because hey, why not? It's a lot of fun.
I couldn't even imagine wearing this kind of stuff in high school, let alone when I was little. But now, man, it's the thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh man, ICC that was such a great time because just like you, I mean, that was when I got to meet all these people. I probably knew 3 people before then, yet in person, yet probably had talked to 30, 40, 50 people of them kind of over the last few years. And like, oh my God, you're Nik, you're Dan, it's just like, it was unbelievable. It's kind of meeting everybody and seeing everybody for that first time. And yeah, it's just such a community, which a lot of people don't realize. It's not collecting, 40-year-old toys or, 30-year-old, stickers. It's the community and the people who you get involved with and you get to know and meet and talk way too much on Facebook Messenger or text or whatever. Like my wife is always complaining, you should be cleaning, and then like chatting with you or something.
Yeah,
sure. I'm like, well, no, Brent, it's Australia. It's I only have like a half an hour we can talk to him because it's the other side. I really have to talk to him. But it's just been great.
That was the first time I met Brent too. Like it was just so crazy. That was awesome. He came all the way from Australia for that. Holy cow! I can't wait.
And I just
till next year. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, I don't know if you saw the time, and they moved celebrations only be a month after ICC now, so it's going to be interesting time. But just going, not that this is a free advertising for the ICC con, but it's just the amount of money and time, just kind of community that you get in there is just such a blast. But.
Yeah, we had planned on going to the last celebration. I have tickets to the next one, and we had some stuff. Well, with COVID, I didn't quite feel comfortable going to the last ICCC, and my wife, I told her, I was like, hey, they're like a month apart. She's like, ooh, this is like a real Sophie's choice. And I was like, oh no, it's not. We're going to both. It's going to be an expensive couple months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see you in person next April in Nashville. That would be awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
But in the meantime, I need more sketches from you.
I need more blanks from you.
All right. Well, they're going out tomorrow. So very cool. Well, I mean, we're kind of getting way over time here. I mean, anything else that you want to kind of throw out there? Anything you want to plug? Let's see. We can go kind of take a look. Let's take a look to see what you have on your screen over here. I don't know if we can look. And what do you got behind you? What do you want to show off? Anything of interest?
This is some of my cabinets of my vintage toys and statues and all my loose collection. And then here's the infamous art desk with my huge Return of the Jedi and Droids and Ewoks run. Have all of them mint on card. And yeah, right now, everything I'm plugging. I will once my droid cards come out, but that's still probably a month or two away. Just finished up Garbage Pail Kids Vacation and sent that off today, and ready for whatever falls on my plate next.
Nice. So, where are you on social media? Do you want to give any plugs to Instagram or any pages you have just before we leave?
Instagram, and actually Instagram's a great place to find me. Nicholas_tattoo, NIKLAS_tattoo. And I do a lot of commission work through there, and that's probably the most up-to-date place you can see my current work and what's about to drop and whatnot. So
perfect. Anyone can commission you for Garbage Pail Kid, official Garbage Pail Kids returns, official Garbage Chute Droids returns, and even I know, like I said, you have your own personal stock, right? Like you did with this, where it's just you can do.
Yeah,
so great.
And actually, my favorite is probably my personal stock because it's like I have the most room, but I can do anything. I've gotten some weird commissions. I recently did a Hobbit commission, so nice to kind of branch out from both directions. Keep it nerdy, but yeah, I'll commission anything. I'll commission your dog if you want.
So up next, Garbage Chute Hobbits or Garbage Chute Orcs, a Star Wars, Garbage Pail Kids, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings match.
Yeah, I'm into that. That's great.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for this time here for the inaugural edition of Garbage Chute Droids Artist Spotlight. I'm hoping to have a bunch of other artists. I mean, we have probably close to 25, 30 artists at this point who have either continuing to do some, and we had a bunch of artists in the beginning who haven't continued. We have new people coming on board all the time. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some other conversations. This was great. I learned a bunch of stuff about you that I didn't know. And again, we've been talking to each other for a couple years now.
Heck yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch.
Good luck cracking packs.
All right. Have a good one.
See.
Bye.